What's up everybody, Tommy Harr with the Real Side of Real Estate. In today's video, I'm gonna give you an after and a deal breakdown of this property right here. If you guys have followed along in this channel, you know that we bought this house and this duplex from the same seller. We just finally finished up this house after 8 months of renovation, and it's time to give you guys a full deal breakdown. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to this channel for the Real Side of Real Estate, and enjoy this before video so you guys can get an idea of what this place looked like, or should I say dump looked like 8 months ago. Let's get it. Here's how I took this dump from a crack house to a cash flowing asset. I walked this property and put it in contract over 2.5 years ago. Here's what it looked like when we first walked it. Not that bad. It was definitely a full gut rehab, and we had it in contract for $110,000. The cool thing is that we were buying the duplex right next door from the same seller, so we're going to keep both of them as rental properties. So you see the condition of the property. It was trashed, it needed a clean out, it needed gutted, it was all plaster, and we knew it was a big rehab until one of the brothers lit a fire in the living room and turned it into a fire damaged rehab. That meant we had to pull all of our permits, and it meant we had to rip out all the entire subfloor system. So here is us gutting the property and our framers literally ripping out all of the framing of the house, ripping it down to the basement to where we had to rebuild literally everything in this house. We touched everything but the exterior walls, and we left the foundation. Other than that, this property is pretty much a new build. Here's a picture of us outside. We literally ripped the back half of the house off of the house, so we were able to vault the ceilings, and we were able to make these floors extremely level. Now we're off to our mechanical systems. We've got everything framed up. We got new ductwork, new plumbing, new electric, new everything in this house. Looking beautiful. And here is our finished product. We got our beautiful white vertical siding, we got our LVP, we got a brand new kitchen in there that flows right into our living room. We turned this house from a 2-bed, 1-bath, took out a chimney in the living room, added a half bath under the staircase, and made this a 3-bed, 2.5 bath with a nice carport in the back. You see our finished product right here. We bought this house for $95,000. We put $150,000 into the rehab, and it's now worth $375,000. We will refinance out with the bank, and we'll keep this as a rental property. It's going to rent right now for $2,600. Follow and subscribe for more deals just like this. All right, guys, so we're back at this house. It's 8 months later. It's August. Tomorrow's actually my birthday. We bought this house in January, so it's been 8 months since we started this project. And if you guys have followed the journey, it took us 2 months or 2 years to close on this. So this right here has been a labor of love. It's been about 2.5 years in the making, but we bought this house for $95,000. I used a private money loan, meaning I purchased this house using other people's money. We put $155,000 into this rehab. Now this house is smaller, but we turned it from a 2-bed, 1-bath to a 2-bed or 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Now let me know what you think about the design as we walk through, but we give our rental properties and even our rehabs a little bit more flair. We've got, these steps are still not done yet, so for those of you that are gonna talk trash on the internet, like always, those still got to get finished. But we've got our vertical white siding, we've got our black gutters, we got our black trim, we've got our nice new vinyl windows, everything. The good thing about this, you'll hear me say this maybe a few times in this video, is everything in this property is brand new, because it was fire damage. We had to strip this thing out all the way to the studs. We even had to rip the flooring system out. So let's come inside and let me show you guys what we're working with here. And I have owned properties in this neighborhood for probably, when I bought my first one in 2019, it's 2025, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7 years of owning property in this area. I love this area. It's a place that's near and dear to my heart because it was my first duplex, but I also think it's about 5 minutes south of downtown Columbus. And as Columbus grows, it becomes nicer and nicer. That's what you want to look for when you're buying real estate. We call it the path of progress. So walking in the front door, I wanted to make this space as useful as we could. So I did a kitchen blended into our living space. Now it's not a huge living space, but it's big enough for what we've got. Now we stripped this house completely down to the studs, and we spent, like I said, $155,000. We put in a new HVAC, brand new 200 amp electric, all new plumbing, all new insulation, drywall, brand new finishes. So when this becomes a rental property, which it's going to be, we have it up for rent right now, my CapEx, or capital expenditures, which are my roof, my siding, my windows, my HVAC, my water heater, will be literally zero for 10 years. So I can underwrite my numbers a little bit more aggressively, and then also I have equity. This place is worth $375, and if it's an appraiser's good day, it could really comp out at $400,000. So at $375,000, a 75% LTV loan is $281,000. So that's that's $90,000 of equity in this deal, and I'm all in 95 plus 155, which is what? 260. So I have $20,000 of spread on there. And when I refinance out, what I'm planning to do, this is like the magic here. Today's interest rates are like 7.5% if you have a great interest rate or a great credit score for a DSCR loan. And I was talking to one of my buddies at a party who's a mortgage broker, shout out Jordan. He was like, hey dude, why don't you just consider buying down your interest rate? So what the payment was gonna be on this, so at a $280,000 loan, the payment's gonna be about $2,500. This thing's gonna rent for $2,500. So it was gonna break even, and after expenses, it was actually gonna lose money. But the aha moment was, hey, why don't you buy down your rate? We've got enough equity he can do a 3-point prepayment or 3-point rate buy down. So year one, it'll be a 4.5% interest rate. Year two will be a 5.5. Year three will be a 6.5, and then it'll float back to what the interest rate is at the market time. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be paying that down, and that's gonna give me, and I've got the equity to pay it down. So I'm just using the equity that I've built. So then my payment is gonna be $1,600. So I'm gonna crush the 1% rule. It's gonna be a cash flowing asset, and I still have the equity, guys. So if interest rates drop in the next 1 to 3 years, I'm just gonna refinance this property again and then get a fixed loan at that interest rate. So now, I know that might be a little bit confusing, but let me explain to you it this way. I'm gonna pay 1 point per year to buy down an interest rate. So at $281,000, I'm gonna pay $2,810 to buy down that rate, and I'm gonna pay 3 points. So I'm gonna pay about, that's gonna be about $9,000 to buy this thing down to get a $1,600 payment, which makes sense to me because I already have the equity built in. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, drop me a comment. I can explain to you guys a little bit deeper, but I don't want to go too basic on this thing. Okay, so what we did in this space was, if you remember the video, this used to be a dining room. Right where Rob's standing right now was a chimney. Ripped out the chimney all the way through the roof. Now we've got a flow all the way back through. Pushed our kitchen from the back to here. We added a half bath under my stairs. I always try to do this. This is the best use of space in my opinion. So we've got a nice half bath tucked in here. And then, honestly, I'm not in love with this design. I maybe tried to push it a little too much because I knew I wanted to get the most ARV value. We did a laundry right here, and then the back side where the kitchen was, we added a ensuite primary bedroom. So this was the original only bathroom of the house. And if you watch the old video, we had to rip up the floor, we had to rebuild the foundation, all that stuff. But the only thing I don't like about this property is you have to go through this room to get to the back door. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. If I had enough space to build a hallway and then go in, then I would absolutely love this house. Or there used to be a door on the side of the house we could have cut in. I don't know, but this was the best I could do with the space. And then we vaulted these ceilings. So we vaulted up the ceilings, we replaced the roof. I mean, everything, this place is sturdy as a rock now. And then we've got our first full bath right here. This area was destroyed. This whole back of the house, we literally ripped off the entire house. Rebuilt the foundation, rebuilt the subfloor. Almost nothing original is existing on this part of the house, which is insane to even think about. Then upstairs, we have our beautiful handrail system. We've got our new carpet. Up here, this was the only 2 bedrooms of the house, guys. And you had to go downstairs to get to your bathroom. Who in the world wants to go downstairs, maybe through your kitchen to get to your bathroom? Think of these things as you're designing houses. So what I did, and remember there's a chimney right here in this house. I removed the chimney. This is one benefit of doing full gut rehabs is you can rearrange and change all you want because you're gonna be opening everything up. So this was a chimney, ripped it out from the ceiling all the way through the roof to the basement. And upstairs, we kept these 2 bedrooms, but where the chimney was and the old closets were, we bashed this all together to create our Jack and Jill bathroom. And I've been told now recently I can't even say Jack and Jill anymore. It's not cool anymore. It's not PC. It's a shared bathroom nowadays. So this is our shared bathroom, and it goes in from here, flows in to our 3rd bedroom, which these are very nice sized bedrooms. Great project. So this one took a long time, and I'm gonna show you guys the back of the house too, because I'm gonna get you guys input on some of the things we did in the back. But this project took a long time. It was fire damaged, it got red tagged by the city, we had to pull all of our permits. If we didn't have to pull permits on this, which some people may think that's a bad thing, we still do everything to code, but I don't want the city slowing me down. This probably would have taken 4 months. It would have been way faster, way quicker. We've been done, we've been refinanced. I've spent way more money on my contractors and interest to my lenders because it's taken so long. So let me take you to the outside. We've been doing this thing, we've been doing some cool stuff. I'm gonna show you the siding that we use. But remember, all of this stuff that you're seeing is $155,000 of rehab. We touched everything in this house. The only thing that's on the house that we did not replace fully was this roof up above me. The roof back in the 3rd bedroom is new as well. So back in the back here, we have a huge backyard. So we had a nasty garage that was falling apart. We now have this huge backyard that we had a backhoe come through. We planted our grass, everything's growing and fine right now. But here's one thing that we've been doing, or I want to do more of. If we have a garage that's falling apart, mind you, garages are 30 grand. A 2-car garage is about 30 grand to build right now. We decided that, okay, I like the idea of having a covered space, and I built one of these in my house because when I bought my Corvette, I needed somewhere to put another car under so it doesn't get rained on. So we built one of these carports at my house. Now we have the existing concrete from the garage. Now if we built a new garage, we probably would have had to dig it up, rebuild, repour, everything. So instead of spending 30 grand on a new garage, this right here cost us about 5 to 6 grand. So we got our 6x6 posts, we got joists running across, we got a metal roof. But at the end of the day, what I look for is, okay, my car's not getting wet. In the wintertime, I don't have to have snow all over it, and you have a little bit of protection. Now, it's not as safe, right? But you still have the protection, and then we added this gravel back here to be able to have a nice parking space in the back. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this carport? On flips, we're gonna probably paint them black, but since this thing is a rental property for us, we're probably not gonna do it. And then we got our 4-foot fence so you can see back in. Our guys do a nice little round here. I always think that's a great touch too. But at the end of the day, this is a perfect Burr deal. We bought for 95, we put 155 in, it's worth 375. So spending the last 8 months of rehab, I literally am gonna put $90,000 of net worth straight into my bank account. So if you know construction, people would have ran for the hills in this house. This was a hard rehab. This place was really fucked up. All the subfloor was wonky. Like, we really had to do a lot of work here. So the team crushed it. It came out great. The siding looks great. The neighbors are happy as hell. I mean, this neighbor came up to me right away and said, dude, this house has been a nightmare for us. We moved in. These people have been awful. So like, the neighbors are happy. The duplex over here, we own too. These people are happy. We're just changing the neighborhood where people think that investors are scum. Now we're gonna make money on this. I'm not gonna lie, that's part of the thing. But also you get the satisfaction of upgrading an area and making things look nicer. So if you guys like videos like this, if you guys like the real side of real estate, if you want to see more walkthroughs, deal breakdowns, let me know, and we'll give you guys what you want. But until next time, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for the real side of real estate. See you soon.